Hello my gorgeous people, how are we? Welcome to another video. My name is Jamie. We're doing another reading challenge today because we know how great I am at reading challenges and how I always succeed. So today we're going to be doing the 24-hour reading challenge. I recently did my screen time to reading time reading challenge like a few weeks ago, and I honestly had so much fun and I read so much, and now I want to attempt the 24-hour one. I've attempted this like twice. I'm pretty sure I've like failed every time, but basically the whole point of this challenge is to see how much you can read in 24 hours. So instead of it being like a 24-hour readathon where you set aside 24 hours and you just read as much as possible as you can in that time, I'm going to be using the timer method and pausing it when I'm not reading and keeping it going when I am reading and seeing how much I actually can read. I want to do so much reading this weekend. It's a Friday. I'm really hoping I can get this done by Sunday if I'm just trying to like read non-stop except for my breaks. I'm feeling confident about it because I'm just in a bit of a bad mood today, and I'm excited to like, I don't know, sit down and just spend some time in my happy place, which is reading as much as possible. I think the best way for me to achieve this is to just be a bit of a mood reader. I haven't really set aside a TBR, but I do have books that I could be interested in. First one is the one that I'm in the middle of, which is The Chase by Al Kennedy, which is a reread for me. I don't think this book is very good, but I'm having a fun time reading it. Like, it's a fun little reread. I do really love the off-campus and Briar U books, and this is the first book in the Briar U series. I'm at page 136, so I'm not quite halfway, but I'm sure I will finish this during this time. I'm probably not going to start by diving back into this one, but it's there if I want to continue something that like I've already started. And then I've picked out 3 books that I could be interested in, but honestly I may not even read any of these. Like, I think I'm just gonna be like picking from my bookshelf as I go. But they are Along for the Ride by Mimi Grace, which is a road trip enemies to lovers romance. It definitely looks really fun, and this is one of my favorite covers that I own. I have How We Fall Apart, which is a YA thriller. I actually started trying to read this a few weeks ago and I just absolutely could not focus, but now that I'm in like more of a reading mood, I think I could go into this one. But this is like a murder mystery vibe. And then I have the book that everyone's been waiting for me to read, The Ballad of Never After by Stephanie Garber. This is the sequel to Once Upon a Broken Heart, and I actually read Once Upon a Broken Heart in a 24-hour readathon, so it only feels correct that I read this for a 24-hour reading challenge. And I think I'm going to start with this one because I just know I'm going to have such a good time. So I'm definitely going to start with this one. I think they're pretty easy, like quick fast reads, so I honestly wouldn't be surprised if I get this done in like 3 to 4 hours. But yeah, just so you all know, it is nearly 3 o'clock on Friday. Let's see how quickly I can get this done. Let's see how much I can read. I really hope you enjoy the video. I'm manifesting success for this reading vlog, not only in completing the challenge, but also in finding some amazing 5-star reads. Hope you enjoy the video. I'm gonna make a coffee and get cozy on the couch. It's so cold today. I'm gonna get cozy on the couch and start my first book for the video. So I hope you all enjoy, and I will see you very soon. Okay guys, it's actually quite late. I haven't been doing so great with this challenge. I've taken quite a few breaks, mostly to catch up on Love Island, but I have been reading for an hour. Okay, so I feel like I've officially started. You know, I've read for an hour, we're good. And I have gotten up to page 124 of The Ballad of Never After, before anyone comes at me and is like, you're lying, how have you read 124 pages in an hour? I need you to look how big the font is. Like, it's massive. I feel like the camera doesn't even do it justice. Like, the font is genuinely giant. But Ballad of Never After, obviously this is the sequel to Once Upon a Broken Heart. Like I said earlier, I loved Once Upon a Broken Heart, and everyone in my comments was like, Jamie, The Ballad of Never After is even better. And like, obviously no shade to anyone who has commented that, but I do think that those comments may have raised my expectations a little much. Like, I'm still really enjoying this so far, but I'm not enjoying it as much as I enjoyed the first novel. I do think that maybe the beginning is just a little bit slower, but slow's the wrong word. Maybe the beginning's not gripping me and then it will get better later on. I honestly don't know. But basically this just follows the events from the first book, like directly afterwards. We're kind of thrust into the plot all over again. As much as I loved Once Upon a Broken Heart, I am finding myself having to like try and remember what actually happened in that first book, because I don't know, I kind of don't really remember, but I'm picking up memories from it like as I read, and I'm sure that will just keep happening. But I'm now, I think though, at like page 124, I'm like fully back in it, and I'm like, yeah, I remember what happened. There are still some amazing moments with Jax, who was my favorite character in the first book. Like, those are just iconic. And yeah, still Stephanie Garber's writing style is something that I really love. I'm definitely really enjoying my time with this one. It's definitely a fast read, and I can't wait for more twists and turns with the plot. Like, it's just such a fast-paced book. All this stuff just keeps happening, and I'm really loving it. That's kind of my only update. I'm just gonna keep reading and see how long it will take me. If I've read like 124 pages in 1 hour, honestly, this will probably take me even less than 3 hours to read. Actually, no, that maths doesn't work. Oh, maybe less than 3 hours. I don't know. But I am planning to finish it tonight and get those hours up tonight. I want to try and stay up as late as possible so I can just continue with my reading tomorrow and have it just go very seamlessly. Let's keep reading. I am enjoying it. It's not the 5-star vibes just yet, not the immediate 5 stars, but it could definitely get there. Like, it could win me over. I think I'm just waiting for it to win me over. Okay, it's like 11:30 at night, so Ben wants to go to bed, so I've been kicked out to the living room, which is absolutely fine because I'm on the couch. I have the fireplace, rain sounds, ASMR rooms on the television. I'm now enjoying The Ballad of Never After so much more. Like, it's really picked up. I've only read for another like 40 minutes. I'm at like 1 hour and 40 minutes, but I'm now on page 194, and like the way the plot's going, I'm fully invested now. Like, I'm actually fully invested. I have one of my favorite Starbucks coffee drinks to keep the energy up, so I'll probably go to sleep around like, I'm thinking probably 2 AM, but it will just be whenever I like actually get tired. I want to at least finish The Ballad of Never After first, and then when I actually like move to bed, I might read on my Kindle for as long as I can like stay awake. But that's the plan. Anticipating a high 4-star or 5-star read, honestly. Nearly halfway, and it's so good. Good morning everyone, how are we? So last night my coffee did not work at all. I felt so sleepy, so I read up to 2 hours and 23 minutes. So even though I started yesterday, I still have got a long way to go, but I'm really loving The Ballad of Never After. I'm now on page 284, so I really only have a little bit left. I think it will just take me to the 3-hour mark and I'll like be done with this. I'm getting the feels that I got when I read the first book now. Like, yes, with the first book, I think I like had those feels kind of instantaneously, whereas this one, yeah, it took me a little while to warm up into it. But like, now that I'm in it, I'm like, yes, 100% yes, everything is amazing. We're getting so much Jax content and we're learning so much more about his backstory, and he's definitely my favorite character. So getting to see more of that is just amazing. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna cope when I finish this and then I have to wait till October till the final book comes out. Like, that is going to give me trauma. I obviously can't tell you guys much about the plot at all because I really don't want to spoil the first book, but just know that it's just so fun. Like, are these books like the best books I've ever read? Like, of course they're not, but they it's the most fun that I've ever had. Like, I genuinely feel like reading these books is the most fun that I've had reading a book all year. They're just so captivating, and the story is so well done. The pacing is just so well done, and yeah, I just cannot wait to finish it. My lovely boyfriend made me a coffee, so I'm gonna keep drinking that this morning, keep the timer going, and we're gonna finish this novel, and then I'm gonna decide what to read next. I have no idea what I'm gonna be in the mood for after reading The Ballad of Never After, to be honest. Like, genuinely, I don't know where to go from here. Like, where do I go from here? Like, it's okay. Anyways, I'm gonna keep reading. I'll see you soon. Hey guys, it's been a great morning of reading so far, and I have less than 50 pages left of The Ballad of Never After, and obviously, as expected, I'm still really loving it. But I've had quite a few comments when I've said that I want to read this. I've had so many comments of people like basically saying that they really want to see my reaction to the ending, that the ending is amazing, blah blah blah, all that stuff. So of course I thought I would get the camera rolling and record myself finishing this novel. So yeah, less than 50 pages left. Let's keep the timer going and let's finish this book. What just happened? People weren't lying when they said the ending of this book was wild. What the hell just happened? I'm upset, I'm confused, I'm hurt, but I loved it so much. Oh my goodness. And guys, it took me officially 3 hours and 10 minutes to read the entire thing. Wow. 5 stars, like obviously a 5 stars. Like, it was just as good as the first one. I wouldn't say better, but I would put them on like the same level as each other. Like, these books are just so good. And now I don't know what I'm gonna do while I wait for October to come. October cannot come fast enough. There was a character that I thought I could trust. Actually, there were many characters that I thought I could trust. Oh my god, that was an absolute whirlwind. That was an absolute whirlwind, but so entertaining. I'm so happy I read this. I anticipate a reread of both this one and the first one before October, honestly. What everyone is saying about these books is true. All the rumors are true, babe. Like, wow. 5 stars. 5 stars, and feeling really good because first book of the challenge is done. It only took me like 24 hours to actually get through the first book, to get through 3 hours of reading. But no, I'm on a roll now. I finished my first book, so I'm like, okay, there's no stopping me. Like, let's go. I have no idea what I'm gonna read next. Like, genuinely, the book was that good that like I'm at a loss for words. I'm at a loss for decision making. I don't know what I'm gonna read next. I'm thinking I should go something really different and maybe do a thriller. Let me just look at my bookshelf for a second. Okay, I've chosen my book. I think I'm gonna do Daisy Darker, which is a thriller. I believe it's about a family reunion. It's set all in one evening. It's like set in a small town, and I believe there's a whole bunch of family secrets. I am in the mood for a thriller, so I think I'm gonna do this, and I feel like that's a really good place to start. Like, it's gonna be super different from this, and then maybe I'll move on after I finish this. Maybe I'll move on to some other books that I actually like selected for this video, as opposed to just going to my bookshelf and being like, yeah, this is the one. But yeah, I'm gonna move on to Daisy Darker now. I'll let you guys know how it goes. I do have to do a Twitch stream tonight, but I think like apart from that, I really have nothing else to do. So I anticipate I'll actually probably finish this before I even start my Twitch stream, and then I can move on to something else like later in the evening. Yeah, I don't know. I anticipate this is gonna be a fast read. 3 hours and 10 minutes done. First book done. Let's move on to the second one. Updates for you all. I have now, since I last saw you, had a shower, washed my hair, had dinner, and have nearly read for 5 hours. 4 hours and 55 minutes to be exact. I have obviously started Daisy Darker. I'm like nearly halfway already. It's not like a super slow book at all. I'm on page 162, and basically this is a mystery thriller about our titular character Daisy. We're living in her mind, first person, and yeah, she is going to her grandmother's house for her grandmother's like 80th birthday.
and her family's like, they're not close, like they don't really keep in touch or anything like that. And so it's like the first time they're kind of like all together, and the grandmother is like revealing what's in the will, and then all of this dark stuff starts happening. I don't want to tell anyone too much because it is a mystery thriller. It's one of those ones where it's like there may be a plot twist around every corner. It's okay. Like, I found the beginning to be really boring, but I feel like it's finally picking up now. Our main character, I just know that she's got some big secrets. I just know we're gonna have some plot twists with her. She has a heart condition, and apparently she's like died 3 times, but then she also talks about how she's like lied about heaps of stuff. I don't really know what's up with that. None of the characters are likable, which I'm kind of loving, but in terms of the actual plot, like right now it's just sitting on like okay. I feel like this is the sort of book where if like the plot twist is good, then like yeah, I might like it more, but I don't love a mystery thriller that relies so heavily on the plot twist. So we will see how I feel, I imagine. Also, it's really random. So at the beginning there's like a note from the author's agent, and it's obviously like fictional, it's like within the novel, and it's basically saying that like this book is from an author who like died ages ago, and they haven't changed any of it except for the names for privacy reasons. And yeah, it's this, I guess it's this whole thing that we're gonna find out at the end. But then in the very beginning, like literally the first chapter, they talk about the characters' names in such great detail and why they are named the way they are, and I'm like, the inconsistencies. I know it's such a tiny thing, but like, it's me. Like, do you really think I'm not gonna pick up on the really tiny things? I just feel like they could have just not had this weird note thing, because if they're not changing a single word, they're only changing the characters' names, then why is there a whole chapter like about why they're named the way they're named? I have no idea where the story's going, honestly. Like, this is not really one where I'm trying to predict the plot twist, and usually at this stage in a mystery thriller I'm like, oh, I'm pretty sure I know what's gonna happen, and I either get it right or get it wrong. But yeah, this is one where I'm like, I actually have no idea. So I'm definitely enjoying it. It's definitely not as good as my previous novel though, The Ballad of Never After. But yeah, I have decided to have a really chill one tonight, so I'm gonna try and finish this, and then I've just made a coffee, which I will drink, but I've just made that, and then I think I might move on to another book as well after this and just see how late I can stay up. It is only like 9:30, but Ben's really tired and he wants to go to sleep early, so I'm probably just gonna chill on the couch and get cozy and try and read as long as possible. So I don't know what I'm gonna read though after this. Why am I thinking about what's coming next? Jamie, just focus on what you've got. Anyways, I will keep you updated. I'm gonna try finish this book. It's officially been 6 hours, so I am a quarter of the way through the challenge, and I have about 40 pages left of Daisy Darker. I'm on page 278, so yeah, like 40 or 50 pages. And I'm not gonna lie, it's getting a bit spooky, especially sitting out here by myself reading it at nighttime. Like, it's a bit scary. I'm definitely gonna need to read a romance after this. It's just a bit much, but I feel like we're starting to get to some major plot twists now, and yeah, like I said, I was finding it kind of boring and slow at the beginning, but now I'm really enjoying the twists and turns. Like, just because it's a bit spooky doesn't mean that I'm like not enjoying it. In fact, I think that means that I'm enjoying it like even more. I guess I just wanted to give an update that I'm a quarter of the way through and I'm feeling good. Yeah, so I won't go to bed as soon as I finish this. I will need a romance as some sort of palate cleanser because of the scares that I'm currently getting. But again, I still have no idea what's gonna happen. Like, I'm watching it all play out. I don't know how this is gonna end. First time in a while that I've been like confused by a thriller. Like, first time in a while where I haven't like tried to guess what's gonna happen. So honestly, Alice Feeney, compliments to the chef for that. I'm gonna keep reading these last 40 pages and I will tell you my like rating when I finish. Hi, gorgeous. Hello everyone. So I have read for, I should say good morning. Good morning everyone, I love you. I have read for 7 hours and 38 minutes. I really want to try and get to at least 12 hours today, like halfway through the challenge. The
audacity of me to think that I could get it done in a weekend. Anyway, last time I probably spoke to you, I was nearly finished Daisy Darker. I did finish it, obviously. The ending was so not what I expected. Like, that ended up being really random. It was so random. Like, if you've read this book, you understand. I literally had no clue that's where the story was going. What the hell? Like, what on earth? And then once I kind of like realized, I was like, I guess I could have picked up on stuff when I was reading this earlier, but like, that was so random. I did end up giving it a 3 stars. It was a really enjoyable book, but definitely not like the best thing I've ever read. I just think it was like too slow moving, and I do think the ending was just borderlining on a little bit too silly for me. I love a Silly Billy novel, like I absolutely do, but it just ended up being a bit too silly, and like the writing was like super earnest, so it's not even really like the book itself was like, yeah, we're aware how silly we're being. It was like just, yeah, a little bit too earnest for me. And I don't know, normally I like an earnest book, but if it's like a Silly Billy book at the same time, I want it to be like aware of its Silly Billy nature, and I feel like this was not aware of its Silly Billy nature whatsoever. Why am I talking about this book as if it's sentient? I don't know. But yeah, 3 out of 5 stars. I've read 3 Alice Feeney books now, and the 2 ones that I would say that I enjoy, like this one included, have only ever really been 3 stars, and that's honestly fine. Like, I will continue to read more of her books because I enjoy my time reading them, but I'm not going to sit here and be like, this is the best book I've ever read in my life. I also was like really distracted, and this isn't the book's fault at all, it's mine because of my obsessions. I was so distracted by the fact that we were following 3 sisters and their names were Rose, Lily and Daisy. All I could think about was the Callaways. This is very different to Addicted to You, but all I could think about was the Callaways. The sister Rose was like really smart and intelligent and kind of like no nonsense, and I was like, okay, I'm only thinking of my queen Rose Callaway. Like, the similarities. And I'm not saying that like Alice Feeney has ripped it off or anything like that, like not at all. It was just funny to me, and I couldn't like not think about it. Yeah, anyways, 3 stars, and it also took me 3 hours to read this one as well, so we're doing good. I have since started another book. I'm reading Along for the Ride by Mimi Grace, which is a romance. I'm very much in the romance mood. I'll probably pick up another romance after this one, but this book is basically a like enemies to lovers road trip romance. However, that is pretty misleading because I'm not even halfway yet and the road trip is like over. Now it's just like a general contemporary romance. I kind of would have loved for the road trip to be the majority of the book because I love a road trip, but I mean, I'm not mad. Like, I really do like the characters. Yeah, we follow our main characters, Jolene and Jason. They had a really awkward, like, nasty encounter with each other at Jolene's sister's wedding, where Jolene's sister was marrying Jason's best friend. And since then, their relationship has just been like full of bickering, like hurling insults at each other. They don't see each other a lot, but when they do, they're like, we don't like each other. Anyway, they've agreed to help out, you know, Jolene's sister and her husband to move their furniture for them because they're moving like 16 hours out of town. And yeah, it's just them on this road trip together. A lot of like bad things go wrong, but they're like there together. And I think the characters are really endearing. I love that Jason is Tongan, and we're getting to see a lot of that Polynesian culture, that Tongan culture in the book. I think that is really good. It's really fun so far. I am really enjoying it. Of course, knowing me, there are going to be things that I'm going to nitpick, and I do think that the romance started too quickly. I love enemies to lovers. What I don't love about enemies to lovers is when they stop being enemies really fast. Like, I want to see that banter. I want to see that hating each other for as long as possible, so then the tension really builds. But they kind of stopped hating each other like around chapter 3, like literally around the 40-page mark, and it just wasn't enough for me. I want to see that tension build, and I just feel like I didn't really get to see a whole lot of it. Yeah, but like, of course, you guys know me by now, like I love a slow burn, and this is literally sitting at like 250 pages, so it's definitely not going to be a slow burn, but it's just to my particular taste. That's what I vibe with. However, like I said, the characters are super endearing. I'm loving their conversations with each other, and at the end of the day, it is a very solid romance. I am really enjoying it. Yeah, like I said, I have just over halfway left, so I will continue to read and continue to enjoy. I'm gonna try and spend the rest of the day just reading this, picking up another romance afterwards, we'll see how we go. But right now I recommend this. Just know that it's not typically to my taste when it comes to a romance, but the characters are so fun that I'm not mad at it at all. And there's been some really fun scenes. There was a really fun karaoke scene which I loved. It just made me love Jolene like a lot more. So far good. A bit of a hidden gem. I've not really seen anyone talk about this, nor have I seen a lot of people talk about Mimi Grace. Maybe I'm just not watching the right romance booktubers, but a bit of a hidden gem, and I'm happy about that. Anyway, I'm gonna have some lunch because my stomach's been rumbling this entire clip. Sorry if you've heard it. I'm gonna have some lunch and then I'm gonna get straight back into my book. Let's try to get 12 hours done today. Fuck it, let's try to get more than 12 hours done today. I'm an ambitious queen and I'm gonna stay that way. Okay everyone, it's been 8 hours and 45 minutes and it's been glorious. It's been like raining on and off all day. It's currently an off period, but whenever I'm like, oh, the rain, it's so nice. But I just finished Along for the Ride in bed and I definitely preferred the first half to the second half. Like, yes, probably because the first half had a road trip and I was like all about those vibes, but I found with the second half it just got a bit slow and a bit boring. Like, I just feel like our two main characters were kind of like swept up into like their feelings for each other, but then it was just kind of like miscommunication after miscommunication, and it just felt a little bit tedious reading that second half because it was like you obviously want them to be together, but then there were just so many obstacles, but the obstacles so easily could have been fixed by themselves if they just communicated a little bit better. Yeah, I don't know. It was the third act conflict as well. I was like, this is one of my least favorite ways to do a third act conflict. But all of that being said, I still really did like the characters and I thought the book itself was a really fun time. I will be giving it 3 stars though, which, like I always say, is still a good rating. I still enjoyed it, but just not like the best romance book I've ever read. And it is only really getting a 3 stars for the reasons that I mentioned about like the second half of the novel. But I think if it didn't have that, like it 100% could have been a 4-star read. Like, I was fully expecting to rate it 4 stars when I first started it. But I guess 3 stars for now. Third book done for the 24-hour reading challenge. I don't know what I'm gonna read now though, because I said that I was in a romance mood earlier and I don't know if I'm still in a romance mood. Like, nothing against this book, I just, variety is the spice of life and I want to switch things up. I've read a YA fantasy, I've read a thriller, I've read a romance. I'm gonna go look at my bookshelf and decide what to read next. So let's go. Let's go. Okay, welcome to my TBR shelf. I haven't fully decided what I'm gonna read next, but I picked out like a stack of books to just keep by my bedside table to just kind of like help decide what I'm gonna read. And then I thought maybe while I'm sharing them all with you, my mind will like actually make up a decision. So I picked out, obviously I still have The Chase, which I'm in the middle of. This is, yes, another romance, but it's definitely very different to Along for the Ride because it's like sports romance, like college aged, you know, that vibe. And it would be good to just like get back into this because I've already started it. And sometimes the hardest part of reading is like starting a new book. But if I was still into that vibe but didn't want to continue my reread of The Chase, I could also do Fair Catch by Candy Steiner, which is still like off-campus Briar U vibes, but I think I like Candy Steiner's writing style a little bit more. And this is part of another companion series. I've actually already read the second book. This is the first one, so I should probably go back and read this. I've got The Family Game by Catherine Steedman, which is another thriller. Stone Cold Touch, which is the second book in the Dark Elements trilogy. Much like Once Upon a Broken Heart, I also read White Hot Kiss in a different 24-hour readathon and also really enjoyed it. I gave it 3 stars, but it was still like fun and I wanted to see what would happen next. So I could, like I did with Ballad of Never After, read another sequel during this 24-hour reading challenge. I don't know, not totally sure. And then I also have Fake Dates and Mooncakes, which is a YA like queer rom-com, which could be also super fun. I think it's set in like a bakery or some sort of vibe, but this one also could be a really fun one too. It just looks really cutesy. So guys, I don't know, I'm gonna take all of these with me into my bedroom. I don't know what's going on. I'm feeling so gross and sick. I just need to lie down and read something. I think I might just continue with The Chase because it will be easy. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna continue with this, but then keep these beside me as like options for later on. I'm feeling good about this. Mood reading is a bitch because sometimes I have no idea what I'm in the mood for, but let's just continue with The Chase. Okay, I'll let you know how I go with it. Okay, We are on 10 hours and 9 minutes, nearly halfway. I actually think that I can get to the halfway mark tonight, and I am on page 279 of the chase, so I am nearly finished. But please keep in mind that I had already read like 150 pages of this before like today, so don't worry, I haven't read all of that in like the short amount of time that I have been reading, but I've basically been reading non-stop since I last updated you. This book is just so fucking ridiculous. Like, I really like the off-campus and Briar U books. I think they're really fun to read. I love the vibes, I love the atmosphere, I love the college setting, the sports romance of it all. Like, I love them all. But I also can acknowledge when one of those books is not as good as the others, and I genuinely think that The Chase is probably the worst. I don't know if I've explained what this is about. I think I may have explained it at the beginning of the video, but we're just following our main characters, Fitz and Summer, while they kind of battle their feelings for each other while living in the same place. These two characters are just like both absolute morons. Like, I just don't like either of them. Summer is okay, but she's just really, I don't know, she says things that just are really questionable. Like, she has ADHD and she has, like, you know, she's got a learning disability, and when she talks about it, she talks about how embarrassing it is and how embarrassing it is that she had special ed in high school, and I just don't love that. Imagine if there was someone with a learning disability like reading this book and being like, oh, okay, I should be embarrassed by something that I can't help or control. I don't know, it just rubs me the wrong way. And then she talks heaps about like girl power feminism, but it seems really like lackluster. None of the conversations about feminism seem to be all that well thought out. It literally just feels like Pinterest quotes. And then Fitz is just really annoying. Like, he constantly just like manhandles her, and like, I know there are like reasonings behind like their personalities, but I just don't care for them. I really don't care for them, and there are so many scenes in here that are just absolutely freaking ridiculous. Keep in mind that while I'm really hating this book, I'm still having a lot of fun. Like, I'm loving how ridiculous it is, and I'm kind of like, I don't want to say that I'm hate reading, because I'm really not. I don't really love the concept of hate reading. Like, I'm having a good time, but like, this is one of the worst like Elle Kennedy books I've ever read, and this is a reread for me as well. Like, I'm rereading this for my Patreon because we're reading the whole series together, and I just knew that this was the worst one and I would have to like push to get through this. And I'm actually having more fun than I thought I would, but like, I am seeing it in a much worse light this time round. Like, I just feel like I'm picking up on more things that I dislike about the book, but I'm having a better time reading it because it's not that deep. Like, it's just a bit silly and funny. But rest assured, I cannot wait to finish this and then actually move on to something that I think is of a higher caliber to my particular taste anyway. Like, I'm not judging anyone if they like this book. Like, that's absolutely fine. Like, I can see the appeal. I'm still having a fun time reading it, but I really can't wait to move on to something that's a little bit more to my taste once I finish this. But don't worry, I'm still having fun. I'm not having like a bad time. But yeah, so it's like 7:30. I actually really need to go do a Twitch stream, which I'm going to do right now, and then hopefully try and stay awake and at least get to 12 hours, but I would love to get past that point and just read some more of the gorgeous books that I have picked out. Honestly, looking at the pile now, I'm like, I don't know if I'm feeling any of these anymore. I don't know. I'm so indecisive. I can never decide what I'm in the mood for. It's terrible. It's fine. It's fine. This is just gonna be a whirlwind. Like, I'm so unpredictable right now. Like, you think I might have one book coming up and then joke's on you, I've picked something completely different. Honestly, the next time you see me when I'm like, oh, I'm moving on to a new book now, it'll probably be something I haven't mentioned at all in this video, to be completely honest. I'm gonna go do a Twitch stream now, and I will catch up with you once I have read some more. Hopefully we get to that 12 hours tonight. I would just love that. I would just love that. Okay, I'll see you soon. Hello everyone. So my phone's on charge right now, so I don't know exactly how long I've read for, but I think it's like 11.5 hours. So we're nearly halfway through, but it's like 1 AM. So I will probably just take my makeup off and go to bed after finishing this clip. I will probably try and read a little bit in bed, but I don't know how much I'm gonna get through. But yeah, 11.5 hours done, nearly halfway through. I'm hoping to finish this challenge by Wednesday at least, so for like the next couple of days. But I finished The Chase. I ended up giving it 2 stars again, the same rating that I gave it last time. I probably never would have reread this if it wasn't for my series read along that I'm doing on my Patreon. It was definitely a silly time. Like, I still had fun reading it. Yeah, nothing really changed. It's definitely, like, I think the worst out of the whole kind of Briar U universe, but I still have like 2 books that I haven't read in Briar U, so we'll obviously see how those ones go, but right now this is definitely my least favorite. But I also started another book, which is How We Fall Apart. This is the one that I mentioned like right at the beginning of the video as one that I like have previously started, but like I just kept losing focus on a little bit. But I've started it again and I'm on page 89, so I didn't pick up where I left off. I actually like properly started again. And basically this is a YA mystery thriller, and we follow a group of 4 friends at this really prestigious New York like prep school, and they had like this ex-best friend who was like perfect, and everyone like loved her and hated her because of how perfect she was, and she gets murdered. And then there's also this like gossip website that's like kind of insinuating that this group of 4 friends is behind it, because each one of them has a secret, and I imagine we're gonna find out what happens as the story goes on and like what each individual's secret is. It's definitely giving Gossip Girl vibes in terms of like the New York setting with like all of the rich kids, and then also like this like gossip website thing. Our main character is kind of different to the other ones because she's on scholarship, like she comes from a poor family, so I feel like class and classism is going to have a massive impact like on the events of the novel. But it's okay so far. I don't know, I feel like there are all these new characters that are being introduced, but we're not really given time to breathe. Like, I just don't really know anything about any of the individual characters. I don't know who they are, what their importance is. Like, the character that we're spending the most time on apart from our main character is Jamie, the girl that died. I just don't really know who anyone is, and I don't know. It's a pretty short book, like it's less than 300 pages, and I'm already on page 89, and the fact that I'm still kind of lost as to like who's who. I don't know if it will change, if it's just the pacing of the novel and everything is supposed to move really fast and we're going to find out more about each individual character as we go on, but I don't know. I'm not really sure how I'm feeling right now. No idea where the story's going, no idea what anyone's secret is, no idea how I'm feeling. But yeah, I'm gonna go take my makeup off now, get into bed, try and read more of this with my book light, but I'm not gonna pressure myself to like stay up even later. I'm just gonna read till I fall asleep, because best believe, even though I'm tired now, I reckon I'll get into bed and I won't be able to fall asleep immediately. I'm gonna keep reading this, keep the timer running while I read, and only while I read, and I'll catch up with you in the morning. I really need to like do some stuff tomorrow, but hopefully for like the rest of the time that I'm not busy, I can just try and get through this challenge. Like, I'm having fun, like, do not get me wrong guys, I am having fun, but I also have like other videos to film, so I do want it to be over, but I'm still having fun with it. What's my favorite book that I've read so far? I don't know, why are we talking about this now? Good night, I'll see you later. Good morning. I made it to 12 hours last night. We're halfway through. Oh my god, I feel like this video is probably gonna be like 2 hours long because I've got so much footage. We're literally only halfway through. How am I doing this? How am I also over halfway through my 5th book and we're only at halfway now? Like, this is crazy. This 24-hour reading challenge is ridiculous. Like, I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to finish this because like I've got other things that I need to be doing, and it feels like I'm reading all day, but then in reality I'm only really reading for like 3 or 4 hours. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, I have read more of How We Fall Apart. I'm on page 192 and I have decided I'm not really enjoying this. I'm like over halfway now and it's just, I just don't think it's very well written. The characters have still remained to be incredibly one-dimensional. Like, there's really nothing about them. They are just 100% one-dimensional. I don't know where the story's going. I feel like the mystery and the thriller aspect of it is very, it's very half-baked. It doesn't seem to be very well thought out or just very well told. The writing's just not interesting, and also it's really unfortunate because I mentioned earlier that there was probably going to be themes and discussions about classism. Thought maybe there'd be some discussions about racism. There was literally like one sentence from a white character like making a remark about an Asian stereotype, but that was it. and I feel like the author is intending for these like big discussions and important topics and themes to be in the novel, but they just feel incredibly shallow and just not very well discussed with not much nuance. Like there'll be like a passing comment here and there, but I don't know, I feel like if we are going to do a deep dive into these themes, I would want them to be a little bit deeper and discussed a little bit more heavily. Like it doesn't need to be on the nose, but it just feels like really underdeveloped and just shallow, I think is the right word for it. It's really unfortunate because this book was a gift by one of my lovely Twitch friends, and I feel so bad, but I'm just like not enjoying it at all, unfortunately. I just genuinely don't think it's very well written, and I feel like it could have had so much potential. Like this dark academia with a predominantly Asian cast has so much discussions about like wealth and, you know, how other people view each other depending on how like financially comfortable or stable or just rich they are. It has so much potential, but the execution of the novel I just don't think is doing it much justice. But yeah, I've just woken up. I really want to do heaps more reading today. I'm just gonna have a shower and just chill and try and get through my books, to be honest. I really desperately need to do some editing. Like this 24-hour challenge has just pushed so much of my other things that I need to do to the side, so I really want to get this done. I'm actually starting to get nervous that I might fail. Oh my god, how have I been doing this for like 5 days? I've only read for 12 hours. This feels so crazy. Okay, I need to have a shower. I will talk to you later when I am showered and clean and fresh and look nice, and hopefully have read some more. Maybe I should only give you updates like every couple of hours now, because I'm worried about how long this video is gonna be. Okay, hello everyone. Ignore the disgusting lighting. It's winter time, so it gets dark at like 3 p.m. and it's ridiculous. But I finished How We Fall Apart, and I'm so disappointed because I've been wanting to read this for a couple of years now. It seemed like it was going to be something that was so up my alley, and I ended up giving it 1 star. This is a 1-star read. Like, yeah, everything that I mentioned earlier when I talked about it, but also like the ending happened. You know, it's like a mystery thriller. Obviously there's going to be a really big plot twist. It happened. It was so out of left field. It was so ridiculous. I could not suspend my disbelief. There's a limit at how much I will suspend my disbelief, and it was just so ridiculous and silly that I was like, I can't deal with it. It reminded me of what I said about Daisy Darker, how it feels like a silly Billy book, but it's too earnest. It feels like it's not aware that it's a silly Billy book. I don't know. I'm really heavily disappointed by this one. Like by the end, I still didn't know who all these characters were. Like what motivated them, what made them get up in the morning, like who were they, what were their hobbies. They were so half-baked. It was just a collection of names. I feel like all they were really was just a name and a physical description, and not like a real person. Very disappointing. Very disappointing. Also disappointing is what I look like right now. Who is this? Anyway, we're just gonna ignore my appearance and the lighting because today is just a very lazy day. But I have finished my 5th book of the challenge. I feel like we're not on a roll. Like, I feel like, yes, I'm reading a lot. I've had 1 5-star at the beginning of the challenge, and then since then I've had nothing over a 3-star. So I'm starting to realize that I'm really bad at choosing books. I don't know what to read next because I'm worried now. I feel like I've been cursed. Ben?
Yeah?
Would you choose a book for me to read?
From where?
My big bookshelf. No, not that one. I've read all of those. Ben said that in 5 minutes he can choose a book for me to read, so I'm gonna go and decompress after this 1-star read and wait for him to bring me a book. I feel like if I'm really bad at choosing books right now, surely he might be a bit better and he will choose a 5-star for me. But I do feel really bad because this was a gift from one of my friends, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. But obviously with everything that I get gifted, I'm so happy to have it. Like, I'm never gonna unhaul this. Like, this was a gift for me, and I'm glad that I read it. Even if I didn't enjoy it, it's still a pretty book, still on the library, still in the collection. So I'm always grateful for that. Like, I don't want anyone to feel bad if I read a book that they've gifted me and then I'm like, I don't like it. But I'm still so grateful. I feel so bad. Okay, I'm gonna go decompress and wait for Ben to choose my next read for me. Ben has just gone in to choose the book that I'm gonna read next. The anticipation is killing me. Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, is it because I'm the it girl?
Because you think you are, yeah.
Because I think I'm the it girl.
Because you think you are, yeah.
Thanks. I guess we're reading another thriller. We're gonna be reading The It Girl by Ruth Ware. This is an interesting choice. I was fully expecting Ben to choose a romance for me because whenever he chooses books for me, he always chooses romances. So, okay, this is a mystery thriller. I think it's about a woman whose friend gets murdered 10 years ago, and then she maybe accidentally puts like an innocent man in prison. She doesn't realize till 10 years later, and then now she's like, wait, is it someone who's like still in my life? Okay, this actually does sound really interesting. Okay, I guess we're reading this. I've been reading a lot of thrillers this 24 hours, but I'm excited. Okay, let's get started. I was not anticipating reading this at all. Thank you, Ben. Okay, let's read. Literally going crazy. I actually feel like I'm going crazy. I feel like I've done nothing but read, but time on the timer is moving so slowly. This is so much harder than the screen time to reading vlog. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on, but guys, I'm 16 hours through. 16 hours. I have 8 more hours left. I swear to God, it took me like 3 days to read for 8 hours, so I don't know if I can do 3 more days of this. I'm going literally insane. It's okay though, it's okay, because I've been reading The It Girl and I haven't really been updating the vlog because I've just been so addicted to this. Like, I've been flying through it. Like, thank God we have another amazing book on our hands. I'm on page 315, so I've less than 100 pages left. I will definitely finish it very, very soon. Like, I cannot put it down. I'm addicted to it. Like, it's genuinely so good. And I was a little apprehensive when Ben picked this out for me because I've only read one book by Ruth Ware before and I didn't really like it. I gave it 2 stars. This is so good. It's like everything that I love about a thriller. It's like dark academia vibes, which I so wasn't expecting. Basically, we follow 2 different timelines. In the first timeline, we follow our main character, Hannah. She's married to this guy that she knew in college called Will, and she is dealing with some shitty things because when she was in college, she had this best friend and roommate called April who was murdered, and Hannah was the one to find her dead body, and she was the one who kind of convicted the murderer and the reason he's in prison. He now is dead, and all of a sudden all of this stuff comes up from the woodwork. Like, all of this stuff comes up from the past, and Hannah is left wondering if John Neville, the guy who died and in prison, was actually the real culprit, and she's just doing some investigating. We also follow the timeline of Hannah and April at college. There's a really big group of friends and basically just the events leading up to that murder. So obviously we're getting clues in both timelines. I'm really loving it. I love the college campus setting. I'm loving the group of friends. I think I know where the story is going. Like, I think I know what the plot twist is going to be just because I've read so many thrillers. Like, thrillers can be pretty formulaic. Like, it is a genre where it is very tropey and there are kind of like story structures that all kind of follow the same thing, but I'm still loving it so much. Like, even if the plot twist is going to be predictable, I don't mind because I'm really enjoying my time reading it. I really wasn't expecting this, but like, the college atmosphere is so good. Like, it's really, really interesting. It's really addicting. I want to know the mystery. I can see why some people would call it boring because it is kind of slow moving, especially for a thriller, but like, I'm not finding it boring. Like, I don't know, I'm liking how slow moving it is. It's really building the tension and the atmosphere for me. So I don't know, I'm really loving it. And basically, I'm gonna go finish it now. Like, I have been really busy, unfortunately, but like, when I have been reading, like, I am not getting distracted. Like, it's just so good. So I'm gonna go finish it right now. I just wanted to update you guys where I'm at with the challenge, where I'm at with the book, why I haven't been updating so much as I've been reading. I kind of loved it from the get-go, honestly. Like, the first 30 pages, I was like, oh, this is gonna be a hit, and it hasn't disappointed me So we're gonna keep reading. We're gonna keep reading. I'm gonna finish this and then I'll let you know what I will move on to next. I'm very excited. Let's get this next 8 hours done. Oh my god.
At exactly 17 hours, I have finished The It Girl. I think I'm gonna give this 4 stars. Like, I did really like it. It's just not 5-star vibes for some reason. Do you know what I mean? Like, sometimes there's a vibe, sometimes there's not. I feel like it's not 5-star vibes, because I mean, it's definitely very similar to other books that I've read before. Like, the one that I kept thinking of was In My Dreams I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead, which is another thriller. It's super similar to that. Like, that's where I kept drawing similarities, but it didn't like win me over as much as that book did. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I'm comparing it to other books that I think it's similar to, I prefer those other books. However, for a thriller, I highly recommend this one. It was so fun. Yeah, like I said, a bit slow moving, and I got it wrong. Oh, I've never been more happy to be wrong with the plot twist as well. Like, that was really good. I loved the murder mystery element of it. It was fantastic. I hate the cover, it's hideous, but yeah, I'm really happy. I feel like my brain has turned to mush. I feel like I can't properly like review books right now because my brain is just, but I think that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 6th book completed for the reading challenge. That is mad. That is mad. I swear to God, July is gonna be like my month where I've read the most books. Wow. Okay, well, I'm gonna move on to something else now. I've really enjoyed the college setting, but I don't think I want to do another thriller. So I think I'm gonna move on to Fair Catch by Candy Steiner, which is a college sports new adult romance. In this one, I believe we follow 2 characters who are on the same football team, like in college. One of them is a woman, like it is a heterosexual romance. Kind of love that. Kind of love a girl sports player. It's gonna be really interesting to see the teammate dynamic translate into a romantic one. And I've never read a book of like a sports romance where a woman is on the team as well. I just feel like that's gonna be really unique, and I really like Candy Steiner's writing style, so I feel like this is gonna be a good one. And I really want to like read more of this series as well. Like, I've read the 2nd book, this is the 1st one. Maybe I'll even do a reread of the 2nd one after this because I really liked that. I also believe it's roommates. Like, I believe the 2 main characters are also roommates, so I feel like that dynamic is also going to be really fun. A lot of forced proximity. Yeah, I think I'm going to move on to this one now. But yeah, 4 stars, book 6 done, 17 hours done, 7 hours to go. We can do this. We can do this. We can literally do this. So I made it to 20 hours and 2 minutes, and I'm not too proud to admit that I can't do it anymore. I can't do it. I'm not built that way. I love reading so much. I love it so much, but this challenge is difficult. I don't know how the other booktubers do it. They are better than me. They are better than me, and that's fine. That is absolutely fine. This challenge is fucking difficult. It is really hard, but I finished Fair Catch, and I didn't really vlog my time reading it because I really didn't love it. What's kind of, I don't know, playing on my mind is, did I not love this because I was burnt out? Did I not love this because of the way the book's written? Or did I not love it just because of like my mental state and like how much I was reading and how much I was consuming? Like, I think overconsumption 100% can definitely be a thing. It can definitely play into how you feel about certain medias. This kind of made me realize that I need to stop. Like, yeah, maybe I'm reading into it too much, and you know, I wouldn't have liked this book if it was the first book that I read in months. But I genuinely feel like I need to stop because I'm no longer having fun. And yes, I know that this is my job and people are going to be like, Jamie, like, just, you know, do the work that you need to do. I think it would be foolish to think that I haven't put in a lot of work to this challenge. And I'm someone who wants to be really honest with my audience. I'm someone who wants to bring a level of authenticity to these challenges and stuff like that. And if I fail, I fail. And that's fine. I would rather show you guys that I failed than, you know, lie and keep the timer running. Like, I'd rather just be realistic about things, and I failed. Anyways, let's talk about my feelings on Fair Catch. So yeah, this novel is about our 2 main characters, Zeke and Riley. They were like childhood best friends. Zeke is the best friend of Riley's brother, but there was this thing that happened when they were younger which led to Riley just hating Zeke, completely hating him, like, and
fair enough, to be honest. Like, you know, when they were talking about it at the beginning, I was like, yeah, I'd hate him too. And then obviously events happen in the book, but I'm not going to share too much with you, like if you guys are interested in reading it. But basically they end up in the same college. Riley makes a promise to her brother to try her best to get on the college football team, and she ends up getting on the team and then has to share a room with Zeke, like share a dorm room. They are obviously like battling their kind of like enemies nature, that sort of vibe. Zeke definitely doesn't hate Riley, but Riley definitely is like not a fan of Zeke, and they're also battling their attraction to each other. I think one of the things, okay, what I love about sports romances is usually we'll follow the male character and the female character if we're talking about like heterosexual sports college romances, and it's really nice that like sometimes we'll get to hear about like the team dynamics and the sports from the boys' POV, and then from the girls' POV it'll, you know, be a little bit of a break from that, which, you know, I really welcome. I'm not really a big sports person. I love sports romance, but like I don't care that much about sports. And I think what was difficult about this is that our two main characters are on the sports team together. They're playing football together. So it was just a whole lot of sports. Like there was really no break from it. And I really loved the idea of Riley being the only woman on this, you know, football team, which comes with its own adversaries, but like, you know, her fighting back at that and like the gender stereotypes. I really valued that aspect of her character, and I really liked those parts of it. But just reading about so much sports and football terminology, I just got a little bit bored, unfortunately. I didn't really care about Zeke as a character. Like, I don't know, I just feel like it was all slightly boring. And it's disappointing because I really liked Blindside, which is the book that comes after this one. So I don't know, I really liked seeing the characters from Blindside in this one, but as far as like this actual romance goes, it's just not my favorite. It's a bit stock standard in terms of the actual relationship dynamic. Yeah, I don't know, I feel like I might have liked this a whole lot more if I was, you know, actually enjoying my time reading, but yeah. Don't worry guys, I've actually had a few days off now to like decompress. After I finished this book, I took a couple of days off from reading, and do not worry, there will be more reading vlogs coming now that I've had that time to decompress. Now I'm excited to read again, but like I think I just need to get this video done. It's been happening for over a week. But yeah, I read for 20 hours. I read 7 books. Let's do a little wrap up of our time together. First of all, I read The Ballad of Never After by Stephanie Garber, and I gave it 5 stars. I then moved on to Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney, which I gave 3 stars. We then read Along for the Ride by Mimi Grace, which was another 3-star romance. We finished The Chase, which I gave 2 stars, but this was a reread. I kind of knew it was going to be 2 stars, and honestly, I actually had a lot of fun with this. This was probably like more fun than some of the other books that I read, even though it got the 2-star rating, but 2 stars. I then read How We Fall Apart, which was an unfortunate 1-star book. I read The It Girl Chosen for Me by Ben, and I gave this 4 stars. This was actually, yeah, my second favorite out of all the books that I read, which is very surprising, but honestly, such a good time. And then I finished with Fair Catch, which I gave 2 stars as well, unfortunately. But you know what? I'm pretty satisfied. Like, we have a 5-star, 4-star, 3, like we've got all the stars, we've got all the ratings here, which is, I don't know, it's satisfying to me. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you made it to the end, I'm very impressed with you. I value you so much. Thank you so much for watching to the end. A cheeky reminder that all my socials are linked down below, along with my Patreon, so if you do want extra content from me, that is all going to be on the page below. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. I have so many more reading vlogs coming soon, so many more videos, so I really hope you're excited. I feel like my channel has really been like lacking reading vlogs recently. It's just because I've been so crazy busy with the puppy and also with this video. But yeah, now I'm hoping for more regular reading vlogs to be coming out. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you all so much, and I'll see you very soon in the next video. Bye.